Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the live show we do every morning, 10:30 Eastern Time. The winning continues. La victoria continua. Jim the Bag. Very nicely done. NBA, listen, you got to be careful. Pride goes before the fall. But we're rolling. Yesterday you went 4-2, up about 2.5 units. Because a nice call on Milwaukee on the money line, so you get a few extra heart units because of that one. It was an underdog line, and I, despite my history in the NBA, 3-0 in the NBA, and I gave the Philly pick, which actually wound up winning, but. As soon as that game started, I was reminded of the deal with Philly last year, which happened to me so many times. They're great in the first half, and then they would collapse in the second half. And sometimes it wouldn't even be till like the fourth quarter or like the second half of the fourth quarter. They would completely collapse. So many times last year, I took them as a big dog. They'd be up, winning the first half. They'd go into halftime up, as they did yesterday, and then collapse in the second half, as they did yesterday, although, wound up covering. But I think we're going to see the same pattern from Philly this year.
I watched that game as well, and they look good.
Yeah.
They look good. And when I thought they were about to buckle a few minutes into the third, they regrouped. And that's a tough Wizards team, and they're playing them on the road. It was a great call.
Yeah, so I'm just remembered now. If I had to do it over again, I would definitely have given it on the first half. And in the future, I got burned. I did that so many times last year, and was very smart about taking them on the first half, and got burned a lot when I took them. On the full game. So yeah. But overall, I'm still undefeated in NBA. And Jim the Bag, you're up in everything as well. So very nice, except for football though. Yeah, only because that one dab. So we'll get into that. We got all right. So we got everything on the card today. We got to get into it. We have a Thursday night NFL game, a very interesting handicapping situation, which I'm telling you right now, I'm going to pass on. But we'll see what Jim has to say about that one. College football, of course, we have 2 games, and I did my deep research into a bunch of games last night, and I got a bunch more picks that I'm definitely going to add, that I'm definitely liking. Some of them I've been hinting at all week long that I'm going to go official with. Some of them are new that I'm liking. I'm going to add that in the college football segment. We're back to a big slate of NHL games, and of course we got a couple more NBA games to look at. Another MLB game. All right. So which sport would you like to start off with, Jim? Any of the 5? Which would you like to start with?
Seeing that we are so hot in the NBA to start the season, I'd like to start there.
Fine. 3 NBA games we got going today, and there's really just one that I bet on the overnight line. The other 2 I didn't, and I did bet the Chicago-Toronto game. Now Chicago is an absolute mess. I mean, just a mess of a team, having fights internally. It's just a mess all over the place. Both teams are trying to play a higher pace, so I was thinking maybe a shot with the over, and maybe a shot with Toronto even giving that many points. What do you think, Jim?
Those are both leans that I've had, and I've been hammering this all morning and last night, whether to pull the trigger. Last year, I had a very tough time with double-digit favorites, and I don't want to make that mistake again this year. We've started out successfully, and we haven't touched a double-digit favorite. The Raptors kept their nucleus together, and I think they're going to be a much faster-paced team. Dwayne Casey's a defensive coach, but he wants to play at a faster pace, and adding C.J. Miles to the mix should help. And we are all Raptors fans are so tired of seeing DeRozan in isolation, and they have promised us that that's not going to be an every-minute event this year. So I think that the Raptors and over should have value this year until people catch on. And then the Bulls have no power forwards. Now that they have lost Mirotic and Portis, they're going to play Lauri Markkanen at the 4, and he's going to be absolutely destroyed by Ibaka. I just don't see him. I don't understand. They're not going to be able to get any offensive boards. They're not going to be able to do anything. So I really like the Raptors destroying them. And unlike the Clippers of last year, the Raptors have depth. So when they empty their bench, it won't fall apart.
Right. Yeah. So what do you want to do here? The team total over could be worth a shot then. And if you notice, Jim the Bag, this is just something to keep in mind. Yesterday, your one loser in NBA, you had one loser. Yeah, one loser. Your first loser of the year. It was on Dallas. but you still got a winner following my recommendation on the team total over. And sometimes with favorites in the NBA, it can be a nice little workaround when you're a little bit afraid of taking the big points or just don't want to take a favorite in general. Think about the team total over with them. Now, you will sometimes get burned. There will sometimes be a big favorite with like a team total of like, a 10-point favorite, team total of like 106, and they'll wind up winning like 104 to 78. You'll lose the team total over, and they'll cover the spread by a mile, and you will get burned. But other times, like last night, you will get away with it. And think about that in general when you're looking at big favorites in the NBA, Jim.
I think that's a great call. And if the Mavericks loss would have bothered me so much if I hadn't have tailed your action there, and it really helped my evening.
It's just something to think about when you're looking at big games involving big favorites in the NBA.
Well, it's such a great call.
Keep in mind.
It's such a great call because the Bulls have always had the Raptors number. Now, this is a completely different Bulls squad.
Right.
I don't know how. Have you heard their starting five? Jerry Grant, Justin Holiday, Paul Zipser, Markkanen, and Robin Lopez?
Yeah. See, the only thing that worries me about taking the over here is it might be a replay of what we saw in the Suns game last night, where like the favorite, where like one team wins by 50, but the loser is so inept offensively that it still goes under.
Absolutely, and that's my fear with the over, and that's why after breaking this game down, I think the only move for me to make is exactly what you said: the Raptors team total over. And what are we looking at?
We're looking at, let me just find it right now. For some weird reason, it's off the board at Pinnacle. Let me just refresh and see if it should be about 110, which is a high. Hold on a second. Which is a high team total. Obviously, I'm not exactly sure why it's off the board at Pinnacle. Let me see if it's on the board now. Let me just quickly. Where is it?
I'm excited to see this Raptors team hit some three-pointers. It was our Achilles heel last year. We didn't move the ball enough. We couldn't hit threes, and CJ Miles should help. 41% three-point shooter last year.
Yeah,
and not facing a Bulls team that just ate us up for the last couple of years.
It's actually 111 minus 104. That's a tricky one because I could easily see this being like 108.82. Something like that. You know what I mean?
I agree. The 111 is too high.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'll throw on a pick on this one. You know what my pick's going to be?
What's it going to be?
Toronto Raptors minus 12.5. It's a split line, 13 or 12.5. And right now at the Greek has 12.5. Now Chicago, so that makes me nervous. The fact that the Greek has a lean to Chicago there makes some sense though. I will take Toronto minus 12.5. Though I'm willing to do it. Toronto minus 12.5. That's an official pick. Toronto minus 12.5 minus 110.
I'm extremely happy that you've made that pick.
Because you don't have to.
I don't have to. Yeah.
All right. What else do you like from the NBA card, Jim?
This is a tough card. This is a really tough 3 games. Why don't we break down the Knicks Thunder? We're all excited to see what the Thunder is going to do. And I'm excited to see Cantor in a Knicks uniform. I think him and Porzingis 4-5. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to handle the rotation, but I think it's really nice. I don't like Hardaway at 4 years at $72 million. And I need to see these teams in action. I mean, how do you think the Thunder are going to play this year? I mean, they're clearly going to try very hard to beat up on the Knicks for Carmelo Anthony. And Paul George has come out and said that. He said, Melo wants this game, and we're going to get it for him. So I like the Thunder to beat them up in this event.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, and this is one I was thinking I'm probably not going to give it, but I was thinking maybe a shot with the under. Now, I did bet that one, and I got 215. It's now down to 213.5. Both these teams did not play particularly high-scoring games in the preseason, and, especially with OKC figuring out what they want to do offensively, I was thinking that the under might be worth a shot at 215. It's gone down a little bit, though.
I think that is the best play on the card. I think the under in the Knicks Thunder game is the best play on the card, and I'm going to tail that and jump all over that.
Well, I'm not necessarily going on it.
I'm jumping all over it.
Really? Okay.
I'm jumping all over
under 213.5. Best line would be, let's see, 109 minus 109 at the Pinnacle. Under 213.5 minus 109. Yeah. I don't know. Should I take it? I mean, we saw so many super high scoring games, yesterday, but then there were other wackily lower scoring games. You like that one, huh?
Well, I think what's going to happen is the Thunder are going to be up big and empty their bench. There were
Mhm.
a lot of games last year that I took the under on where it didn't look good, but then you knew in the Warriors games they were going to completely empty their bench, and there wasn't going to be a combined 50 points in the fourth quarter.
Mhm.
That's what I'm hoping for in this game.
Mhm.
I'm hoping for the Thunder to be up 20, 25,
Right.
empty their bench, and a low scoring fourth quarter.
Well, we're getting look. It's a tough 3-game slate of three-game card here. We're getting a lot of comments, sort of like strongly disagreeing with both of our picks. Let's go back to the Toronto pick. Here was just to read some comments. Anil Frank says Chicago, they're very young, but they're going to get underestimated, which of course happens all the time with young teams. Did not happen yesterday with the Suns though. Anil Frank says Raptors will win, but don't be surprised if it's a close game. Well, I'm literally never surprised by anything in the NBA. Literally. There is literally nothing that could happen in the NBA that would surprise me.
Yeah.
So, and then, Jesus Cabrera also saying too many points. Pete's off his meds today. Not so sure here. Justin Searcy says good pick in capital letters. Not so sure. Pac-Man Lil says Chicago got young players. They will keep it close. Yes, I understand that one. It's I don't know. I might be on the wrong side here. And then they're also slamming you a little bit, Jim. They're saying that let's see, who was it said that said really? Jensen Bonzone says he likes the over in this one. It was 215. That's right. Darius Lyle saying good picks yesterday. So yeah, these are tough games, and people kind of split in chat about where to go as well.
Yeah, this is a really tough 3-game card.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about it. Even the Clippers-Lakers game after this is tough. So I understand. I felt very confident with some of our choices yesterday. I was so heavy on the Pistons and the Grizzlies yesterday and so confident. And this is a completely different situation. These are tough games to figure out. No question about it. Starting the season, we don't know what to expect from these teams.
Yeah. Anil Frank saying I'm not slamming anyone. Or are you saying I'm slamming anyone? Yeah. No, I know Anil Frank. I was just saying that for a fact. And Muna Bet says Raptors in the under. Jansen Bonzone says Raptors can't finish. Look, the Raptors were a team that disappointed many times last year and underwhelmed, as we know. I'm just looking at this and thinking that in the first game, they'll have it together, and Chicago won't. Chicago is just a mess. And in the NBA, I mean, obviously, there's so much talent parity that any double-digit spread looks a little bit iffy. But sometimes there can be spots where there's and it does tend to, those spots tend to come in the middle and the end of the season when there's a team that's just completely outmatched and you start to see a team repeatedly losing ATS by double digits game in and game out. That's when it can really be good to take those double digit favorites. Here, listen, I might be on the wrong. Look, fucking Chicago might win this game. You know what I mean? I might be on the.
They've always had the Raptors number. I just don't see how they possibly can with this roster.
Yeah.
But I thought that last year, and they seemed to step up with Butler hurt and with Butler and Wade both out of the lineup. In this Knicks Thunder game, though, I am banking on, and this may not work to my advantage, but I am banking on the fact that the Thunder are going to force the ball to Carmelo Anthony. Now, I heard that he's lost a little bit of weight and he's moving quicker. He looked so slow last year. If you force the ball to Carmelo Anthony, the score is just going to be a little bit lower than normal.
Yeah. Here, let's see. Let's see. Andrew G saying never not home opener. Best Raps team ever. Can't see him losing this one. Yeah, it's not a matter of whether they win or not. It's a matter of whether they will cover. But all right, so we'll see. We'll see. Delta 75 asking about the Bulls team total, and that is 97. I don't have a play on that one either. Jansen Bonzone saying OKC can't play deep. All right, Jansen Bonzone saying this will be high scoring. Jansen Bonzone liking the over.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm taking a shot, and the main shot is basically against the Knicks.
Yeah.
And seeing Westbrook forcing action to Carmelo and seeing Paul George pass up on opportunities to give the ball to Melo. And I could be wrong, but this is the only pick that I'm confident enough to make as an official pick today.
Yeah. And Jansen Bonzone, I believe, or someone else also said best to pass on the entire NBA card tonight and move on to NHL, which there's a bunch of plays I'm liking in the NHL.
Definitely.
I can't wait to talk about NHL
Same
with you.
here.
All right. So all right, look. I should probably take back the Toronto minus 12.5, but I already gave it. I'm not going to take it back. I'll ride with it. And I admit that that's the luxury of being up a couple units. You know what I mean? No shame to come back in tomorrow for me and say my record on the year is 4-1. ATS, no shame for you either, Jim the Bag. I'm on Toronto minus 12.5, minus 110. You're on OKC under 213.5, minus 109. And Clippers Lakers game, a total pass for me. Do you have anything to say about that one, Jim?
It's a total pass for me too. It sounds like Rivers, Gallinari, and Decker were all good to go. It looks like they'll all be playing. I'm a big Patrick Beverley fan, but he has a nagging knee injury, and he always has injury problems. I'm excited to see the Lonzo Ball era start.
Yeah,
but I'm going to lay off making an official pick on this.
Huge wait and see situation there. Yeah, again though, I don't know. Look, I did bet the under in New York OKC at 215. It's now down to 213.5, and I also bet the over in the Chicago Toronto game at 207. It's now up to 208.5. So we'll see. Jensen Bunzone may be completely right, and especially early in the year, these totals. My whole assumption is just that OKC might have some issues offensively. At first when it first starts out, and if you look at their preseason games again, they're relatively low scoring. But we'll see. Shall we move on to NHL, Jimmy the Bag?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's move on to NHL, Jim the Bag. And since we've earned it, our regular viewers know what our records are in the NHL in general. But since we've earned it, we absolutely have the right to tell folks what our records are. Winning night for both of us yesterday, I had nothing yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the 17th. Sorry about that. And you actually did have one loser on the trade money line. But overall on the year, I'm 17-11, plus 110 average line, plus 8 units, plus 26% ROI.
Ooh.
And Jim is now, after last night's loss, a tough one, 22-15, plus 5.5 units, and plus 12% ROI, and that is also an awesome record. Pretty much unsustainable throughout the whole year, but maybe, who knows? Who the hell knows? I'm not the one to say that. Maybe we will be able to sustain that all year long. All right, so on today's card, there were 5 games that had overnight lines, and a bunch of totals that I'm looking at, and I'm assuming that there is one game that you're probably agreeing with me on. Let me find it. Where the hell is it? Wait, let me see. All right. Well, the first one. All right. Now, let's. It's weird that it's gone down. I forgot. The Carolina-Calgary game is a game that I am definitely looking towards the over on, and I'm assuming that you're going to be all over Calgary on this one as well.
You are absolutely right. I am all over Calgary. I love the number that I'm getting. They just had 4 days off. I just really like the situation, and it looks like for the Hurricanes, they're going to have a goaltending controversy on their hands. Only Skinner and Turovainen have scored more than 1 goal. That 5-goal outburst the Canes just had, now they're just averaging 2.8 goals a game. I think the Saddle Dome is going to be a tough place to play this year. I think the Flames are a good hockey team. I hate saying that. I'm from Vancouver, and I despise Calgary Flames, but I think they're going to be very good. They're top-end talent, Goodrow, Monahan, Tkachuk, leading the way, an excellent defensive core.
Right.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I am all over Calgary tonight. I will be making it an official pick, and I will be betting it on my own.
All right. Yeah. I'm sorry. There's so many games going on that I have so many friggin' sheets of notes that I flubbed the. I was gonna make some sort of like jokey thing predicting that I was guaranteeing that you were gonna be loving Calgary, but I flubbed it. But because I have so many friggin' notes here. All right. So in my notes, I'm liking the over. I'm liking Calgary, and maybe even the Calgary team total over. So what are you going to take here? I'm going to take Calgary -1, and I'm going to take the over. Do you think that Calgary will give up enough goals to make the over at just 5.5 a decent play?
Well, the Hurricanes just had an outburst, just scored some goals.
Yeah.
So if there was a time to do that, I think now is probably it.
And it's a very low total. All right, so I'm taking Calgary -1 and the Calgary over. The over 5.5 is just -104 right now at Pinnacle and a bunch of places. And the -1 line, of course, I make my own -1 lines here. The money line part of that will be -123 at Pinnacle, and the puck line part of that will be plus 238 also at Pinnacle. How do you want to take this one, Jim?
I'm just going to take the money line.
Okay.
Calgary Flames. I'm going to create a situation where if the Hurricanes do really play strong, because they have been playing well, the 5-3 win in Edmonton was impressive. so that if it is a tight game, I still have a shot at cashing. So I'm just going to take the money line.
Okay, minus 123 is what you're getting there. I'm on again, -1, and the over 5.5 at -104. Curious to know why you're not also on the over, Jim. I mean, I'm liking that one a lot, and I'm thinking that if you even liked it a little bit, you would go on it as well. Just curious here. It's always important. Opposition research, opposition opinions. Why would you not take the over here?
Just because I need to make sure that 5-goal outburst by the Canes was not an anomaly.
Right.
If the Flames are up 1-0, 2-0, they have such a great defensive core that they'll dump and chase and slow the game down.
Yeah.
It's not that my lean would be over to that side, but I think the minus 123 on the money line for the Flames is incredible value.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to be at that number. I thought I was going to get worse odds. So I'm just going to hammer at what I think is the best case scenario for me.
And I don't necessarily want to go on this three ways, but the Calgary team total is 2.5 minus 140. Why would that not be a good bet?
It would be a good bet, but I don't like the minus 140. You know, it's early in the year, and there have been more goals scored than we expected this year. I'm going to try to stay away from minus 140s as much as I can, because they've already burnt me early in the year.
Sure.
And but I do think that is a safe play. And Scott Darling is supposed to get the bulk of starts. He's supposed to be starting now, and he's not had a good beginning of the season. And you know, the more I think about it, the more I think that that's a good spot. But,
very weird though that because I bet this one on the overnight line. I think I got it at minus 130, and it's actually gotten bet down. Carolina's taking some money. It's now down to on the overnight line. Carolina was plus 118 where I saw it. Now it's down to a plus 110. Why do you think lines money come in on Carolina? I mean, not that you would know, but
well, maybe people are thinking that the 4 days off will put the Flames and make them play sloppy early on, and the Hurricanes are, you know, teams in the NHL when they start winning on the road. They have no distractions. They don't have their families bothering them. They're able to really concentrate, and I think maybe that would be the underlying theme.
All right, so let's move on. Another game that I think is very interesting: New Jersey and Ottawa. Now we liked Ottawa. Not only did they not win, they got shut the F out at home. That was somewhat interesting. I was surprised by that. I was definitely surprised by the result. You could make the argument that we should have taken Ottawa at that high of a line, but regardless of what the line was, it was definitely a surprising result, right? Maybe we made a mistake taking them at that high of a line. Now their next game against New Jersey, and New Jersey, of course, is on fire, just killing it. And I'm thinking that maybe Ottawa is going to be systematically overvalued for a while going forward. I do think they're going to have a bounce back here at the very least offensively, and I'm liking the over in this one as well. What do you think, Jim?
I think that is a safe place to bet the over here. I also think that Ottawa is going to score more goals this year, and Turris has already got up to a great start, and Stone looks really good. Brassard looks good. I think Carlson must have needed that game. You know, he played 22 minutes, was a -2. I think he's going to get stronger as the year goes on, and we know that the Devils are scoring. You know, Will Butcher has 9 points in 6 games. They lead the league with a 30.8 power play percentage. They're third in goals per game at 4.2. They have a very productive group of goalies. What is the number on?
So this is another one that's weird that moved against me. I bet it on the overnight line. I forgot where I bet it. I think I got like minus 105. That's what I got it. And its money has come in on the under. It's now over 5.5 plus 104 at Pinnacle and sportsbetting.ag and Bet Online. Why do you think money's coming in on the under?
Well, the Senators getting shut down the way they did in changing their whole game plan with Carlson might be concern for people. When Carlson is on the ice, he controls the pace, he dictates everything, and they were handling everything by committee, and that is changing now. And I think that might be the fear with some gamblers.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the over as a lean coming in here today.
Okay.
It wasn't. I've got a bunch today, but that wasn't one of them. Now, of course, I'm biased from getting shell-shocked of the 3-0 loss to the Canucks. You know, and so that affected me, and that's probably why it wasn't a lean. This Devils team scores goals, and they also have Corey Schneider in net, who was one of the top 5 goalies in the league. I'm going to leave this game alone, but I can completely understand your feeling on going on the over.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take the over 5.5 plus 104. I also, despite the fact that I think Ottawa probably does get a win here, I think that New Jersey is once again getting disrespected at the line, and I did bet that one on the overnight line. And New Jersey at plus 140 or wherever it is right now is I think Yeah, plus 140. I'm going to hold off on that one. That's just a lean that I don't have the balls to give, but I think that there is value there with New Jersey. But I'm going to take that one at plus 140. Some very interesting comments here. Robert Carlos says, Bissell, I work at the Westin in Ottawa. That's got to be a fun job. Vancouver was there for 3 nights, so there you go. They were rested, geared up. I mean, that stuff matters.
That stuff matters.
Definitely matters.
That stuff matters.
When you know that a team just got in at 3 a.m. that morning, or when they've been sitting there stewing. They were sitting in the Westin stewing for 3 days waiting for this game. And then they came out. And yeah, that stuff really, really matters. Other comments here, a lot of people agreeing that the Devils are probably a team with some value. And thanks so much, Terrence Kelly says, Bissell, I love the way you got at that hater the other day. Thanks so much, Terrence Kelly. Knew you guys would appreciate that. See, that's why I love haters. I mean, even if it's like a fake hater, I'm going to be like, all right, maybe this guy isn't a real hater. He's a troll, but I'm going to go on it and people will appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to take the over on that one. I'm going to hold off on the side, and you're going to pass on this game as well, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jim, out of the rest of the cards, what do you like that you really want to share with us? Can't wait to give us.
I can't wait to bet on the Blackhawks this evening. I can't wait. I was shocked again, just like the Flames. I was shocked at the number I'm being given. I know that both teams are slumping. The Blackhawks have been outscored 11-6 in losing 2 of their last 3. And the Blues were up 4-0 after 2 periods. That's going to bother these Blackhawks. They're going to come out flying. Since the start of last season, the Blackhawks are 11-3-1 on the second half of back-to-back games. That's big. Draisaitl being out is a huge loss for this Oilers offense that doesn't have a lot of depth. Cam Talbot will be back in goal. 1-3, 3.96 goals against average, 880 save percentage. He was lifted in his only other road start of the year after stopping just 4 of 7 shots. I love the Blackhawks at home here. I think this is easy.
Okay. The best line right now would be minus 109 at betonlinesportsbetting.ag. That line I have nothing to say because, of course, there was no overnight line, so I didn't have a chance to. When the hell do you get a chance to look at these overnight lines by this time?
You do your. I wake up at 4 in the morning.
Oh, there you go, Jim the Bag. High five, high five. So I guess that's why, because I kind of do the opposite. I work until 4 in the morning and then go to sleep. And I guess the other thing is that you are not deep in college football like I am. So I've got like 50 deep games to go, and so you have extra time. Jim the Bag wakes up at fucking 4 in the morning. That's how you fucking kick ass in anything, right? That's how you do it. You sacrifice.
Well, I didn't know how I was going to possibly do it
with
basketball and hockey, and so I was asleep last night at 7 o'clock.
Yep, takes fucking sacrifice, and I'm proud of you, Jim. I'm proud to hear that. All right, but still, the lines aren't out by then. How do you make your own line, and you're like, well, what am I going to like here?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. There you go. That's deep handicapping. Jim the Bag getting up early in the morning and making his own lines on this shit. Wow. There you go, Jim. Like in Edmonton at minus 109.
Blackhawks.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I just fucked up that whole bit. All right, there you go. Blackhawks minus 109. All right, now let me hit you with another one that I bet on the overnight line. We'll see if you agree with it or not. I don't know. Nashville, Philly, great call, by the way, on Nashville on the puck line in their last game, and a great call myself on the under. It was a rare puck line and the under are anti-correlated, obviously, but we both hit on that one. And now Nashville going up against Philly, and Philly is obviously rolling at home. And Philly also, it probably, I'm guessing that because because of the way they lost their last game at Nashville, they're not going to overlook this game and looking for some revenge. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it out, but this is another game where I bet the over at 5.5, and it looks like it's another game where I bet the over and it's moved in the opposite way that I got it. I think I got it at minus 115. I don't remember. No, I think I got it minus 108. But now it's minus 103 on the over. And again, I don't understand that unless you think that Pekka Rinne is someone you don't want to fade with over bets. But Philly's been scoring. Now Philly's scoring is going to come down at some point in a major way. But because it's a revenge game, I think they're going to continue to step it up. And I think Nashville should be up productive offensively. Another 5.5 over that I'm liking. Am I wrong here, Jim?
You're not wrong. I have had some concerns. Wayne Simmons is not going to be in the lineup.
Yeah.
And Michael Neuwirth is likely to get the start, and he's looked very good. And I think that he has a nice shot at taking the starting job away from Elliott. 1-1 with a 1.52 goals against average, 956 save percentage. He's been waiting for an opportunity. This Phillies team, I didn't expect to just be enamored with them the way I am. Their coach, Dave Haxtell, I didn't know anything about. a head coach at University of Dakota for 11 seasons. It was the first coach to go directly from the NCAA to the NHL since the legend Badger Bob Johnson in '82.
Right.
This team is firing on all cylinders. You know, after losing, they've outscored the Caps and Panthers 13-3. They seem to be scoring goals. Now, my issue was twofold. It was Wayne Simmons not being in the lineup, Bonino not being in the lineup, even though he's more of a defensive specialist anyways. But Peke Rinne has looked very good of late, allowing 4 goals in the last 3 games. And like you said up the top, when is the Flyers scoring going to slow down? I think it slows down without Wayne Simmons. He's a power play monster. He's a great player. He's big, tough, fast. He does it all. And so I am staying away from
All
this
right.
one.
And your advice has put me off of that one. You're absolutely right, Jim the Bag. Thanks so much for putting me off of that one. I will pass on that one. And do you think that, so I guess you think that Philly looking for revenge here because of the way they lost to Nashville might not be a great bet at a low line?
You know, I think that Wayne Simmons is one of the most important players to a team in the NHL because Giroux and Couturier and Voracek. I mean, Voracek is actually much bigger, but he doesn't play that big.
HB 123. Simmons on the ice this morning. Doesn't mean he's going to play. Was he wearing a non-contact jersey?
Interesting. Yeah. All the reports I got, and that's very interesting.
Simmons was out.
That May not be in the lineup due to a lower body injury. You know, that's a great, and thank you for coming in with that important information.
HB 123, thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm still going to be hesitant.
Yeah. That is it's just a tough game. It's a tough game. Philly Jensen Bunzone saying Philly not for real, which in general I would agree with, and he's saying that Nashville's turned it around, and that's also something that in general I would agree with as well. So this is a tough one. I'm staying way the hell off it. Thanks for all the advice from everyone, from commenters, from Jimmy the Bag, and I'm just going to pass on it as far as an official pick is concerned. Then let's talk about one other game where, again, the total moved in the opposite way of where I was leaning. The Islanders and the Rangers. Now, I thought that just based on the way they've been playing, that the under was a little bit of an obvious play, maybe too obvious, but maybe solid. But the line has gotten bet up towards the over, and now the under 5.5 is at positive money. I did not bet this one on the overnight line. Obviously, both teams here have been terrible. The Islanders have tended to own the Rangers recently, so maybe a shot with the Islanders as an underdog. What do you think about this one, Jim?
I think the Rangers are going to allow a lot of goals and score goals. I don't think they're going to be a tight defensive unit, and now the Islanders aren't scoring. And I said, we talked about this last week, that Jordan Eberle is not going to help Tavares. This first line is not going to start scoring. They have scored 4 goals in the 6 games. Eberle has none. The Islanders are 0 for 20 on the power play. They've allowed 3 shorthanded goals. They've been outscored 3-0 when they're on the power play. That will change, but I think the Rangers are going to be in offensive games and the Islanders are going to be in defensive games. And mixing these two together, I don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, it is a little bit tough. All right, so far, correct me if I'm wrong, I've got only one pick from you, Calgary money line, right?
Yes.
And I've also got, for me, I've got Calgary -1, Calgary over, and the New Jersey Ottawa over. Jim, is there anything else you like?
Yeah, so I also have the Blackhawks.
That's right. I'm sorry. Well, I did not write that one down.
No problem.
Okay,
but
Chicago,
yeah, I do have a couple moves. I'm going to take the under in the Canucks-Bruins game. Now, I know that Tuukka Rask was injured in practice, but Anton Khudobin is a pretty good backup, and I'm fine with that. The Bruins are battling injuries. Bergeron and Backes are getting closer. Now they just lost Spooner. They already lack depth. And Anders Nilsson made his Canuck debut with a shutout. He's going to start again. Jacob Markstrom has made 70 Canuck starts without ever recording a shutout. The Sedins have gotten off to a slow start. Brock Boeser leads the club in scoring 4 points. I just think this is going to be an ugly, low-scoring hockey game. And I was pleased to see that I could get it at 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5 -111 is the best line at a bunch of places. Sports betting, Bet Online, Pinnacle, a bunch of places have 5.5 -111. Of course, you don't use 5 dimes odds. 5 dimes has -110. So Vancouver, Boston under 5.5 -111. All right, I did not again. I mean, obviously Vancouver having some serious issues scoring, and I think that's going to be a long-term problem for them this year. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So I did not look at that game because no overnight line, but I can't say that I disagree with it at first glance. All right, Jim.
I do have one more move. Actually, I have 2 more moves if we have time. If I can run through it really quickly.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to take the St. Louis Blues Blues on the road, and I'm going to take them -1.5.
On the puck line.
Yes,
Okay.
I really like this situation. The Avs have come crashing down to earth, like we predicted. They lost by a combined 7-2 in their last 2 games. Their 4-1 start was helped by back-to-back victories against the depleted, bad Boston Bruins team. Tonight, they start Jonathan Bernier, who is a goalie I watched get lit up over and over and over with the Leafs. The Blues got Alexander Steen back. They were up 4-0 on the Blackhawks. They are a really good team, and I think they're going to jump all over the Avs. And I'm going to take the puck line. I think I get a juicy number.
Puck line, best line right now at Pinnacle, +266. +266.
Ooh.
Jim, if you win that one, you'll get 2.5 units of profit. And yeah, in general, I've been liking St. Louis. I think they're playing like a faster brand of hockey than we've seen from the past years, right? Wow, yeah, that line did not have an overnight line. So because I did not wake up at 4 a.m, I woke up about 20 minutes ago, or I woke up about 12 minutes before the show started, because I did not look at that, but I might blindly tail you on this one. Would you be okay with that? If
I would be honored. I would be absolutely honored.
Ooh, let me see. It can be a little bit tough to play, and you think that Colorado is definitely, the Avs are not for real, and it's just the line is very tempting. All right, I'll think about that while we hear your next pick. What's your other pick you want to add on here? You said you had a second one?
Yeah, and but this is a lean, and maybe if we talk it out a little bit,
Okay.
I'm very interested in the Stars at Coyotes under. It's at 6. The Coyotes have started 0-5-1. Their child general manager has no idea how important toughness is. The toughest guy on your team is your coach. You're fucked. They look bad. They have scored more than 2 goals only once, and this rookie, who I didn't know anything about, Aiden Hill, 6'6", who's taking over for Antti Ranta, looks really good. The Stars, and we keep hitting this over and over and over again. There's way more defensive team under Hitchcock. Ben has done next to nothing this year. Seguin leads the team with 3 goals. Ben Bishop is rolling 3-1 with a 1.49 goals against average and a 944 save percentage. Even just saying these things out loud, I'm going to take the under 6.
All right, let's find here we go. NHL totals. Find the best line will be under 6 -107 at betonlinesportsbetting.ag. Okay, so that's under 6. All right, and so to sum up, Jim, I've got you on Calgary money line, Chicago money line, Boston under 5.5, St. Louis puck line at +266, and Dallas under 6. And I'm on Calgary -1, Calgary over, and the Ottawa over 5.5. And I'm thinking about going on that St. Louis puck line as well. You really like that one, huh? The Avs
really
are not
do.
for real.
It's the Avs defense that's the problem. I like the way they split up their forward units. They actually have changed the forward units in practice yesterday for today, but their defense is just awful. It's just so bad, and I just think they're going to get touched.
All right, I will tail you on that one. I'll do it on the -1 line. St. Louis -1. The money line part of that is -107 at Pinnacle, and of course the puck line is the juicy +266 line, also at Pinnacle. So St. Louis -1, I will go with that one as well. And I'm agreeing with you with the Dallas Arizona under 2. But again, I didn't look into that game. No overnight line, so I will pass on that one. And then just before we move on to the next segment, we didn't touch on this game, so I'm assuming it's going to be a pass for you. But it's certainly an interesting handicapping situation. I think you know what I'm going to bring up here. Tampa Bay against Columbus,
Thank
right?
you. Yeah.
Bobrovsky against Tampa Bay's offense. Was Bobrovsky's last start a glitch or a sign that maybe he can be scored on by teams like Tampa Bay? What do you think?
I've got this right here. I'm so happy that you brought it up. I want to take the Jackets badly, and I'm thankful that we can talk out loud because this is my last real big lean. These are 2 very good clubs, as we know. Kucherov is on fire. But tonight's game will end a stretch of 3 road games in 4 nights for the Lightning.
Yeah.
And that is tough. The Jackets have won 4 straight. They're getting production from their whole lineup. 5 different players scored in their 5-2 win over the Jets. And we hit that twice. We hit that with the team total, and we hit that with the win straight up. The Jackets swept the season series versus the Lightning last year. Do these Lightning, are they comfortable with the way they played this year and just want to go home? I mean, is this a nice chance for the Jackets? The reason why I didn't just hammer it was because the number that we're getting isn't perfect.
Well, what do you mean? It's quite low. I mean, it's just a sort of standard home favorite line. It's the best line would be minus 130. Yeah, like minus 135. It's mid 130s.
But I guess after getting minus 123, I mean, the numbers I got on the Blackhawks and the Flames made me hammer it right away. And the number, I thought that the Lightning, who might be the best team in the Eastern Conference, might give me a better situation with betting on the Jackets. And I'm uncomfortable. You know what? Even saying it out loud, I don't think I want to fade.
It does feel a little trappy. I feel like the main issue here is just Bobrovsky. His last start was gave up a bunch of goals, and is he going to be vulnerable again here, or was that fluky, his last bad performance?
I would be looking over my shoulder. We like that backup, Korpisalo. Yeah, I mean, of course, we're talking about a two-time Vezina Trophy winner, but yeah, I think the Lightning are an extremely good squad, and this is going to be a very close game. And if I could have got a better number, I would take it. But
all right, yeah. My notes on this game were that I was looking to take the Jackets, but that feels like there might be something trappy about this one, so I'm going to stay off it as well. All right, so let's wrap. So we'll wrap up the NHL segment. A lot of games. I think we got a lot of nice picks once again. Jim the Bag on Calgary money line, Chicago money line, Boston under 5.5, St. Louis puck line, and Dallas under 6. And I'm on Calgary -1. Calgary over, Ottawa over, and I'm tailing Jimmy with St. Louis -1. Did I get that? Did I miss anything, Jim?
No, you got it.
All right, that's it. Now, before we move on to the football segment, let's just quickly hit the MLB segment. Just one game, Kershaw against Quintana. Kershaw continues to struggle in the playoffs. Quintana's been good. I have to assume that the Cubs at plus money would be the way to go. I don't know if I'm going to make that as a pick, but just that's got to be the way to go, right? Or am I wrong?
No, I mean, Kershaw has not looked good, but I just feel like this has got to be sort of a pressure-free situation for them. They're up 3-1. The whole world isn't hanging on if he disappoints. I keep waiting for him to step up. Now, the reason why I think the Dodgers are the play here is because they just used Davis for 48 pitches. They can't go back to him today. We've seen how bad their bullpen is. If John Lackey throws one pitch in this game, the Cubs are going to lose. Their bullpen just looks too weak.
Right.
And so Quintana has looked great. His velocity is up. He's pitched very well. He looked so intense out on the mound. But, I think that the Dodgers are going to win this game because of the bullpen. And but at minus 157, minus 160, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't make sense to me.
All right, so it's going to be a pass for you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be a pass for me as well. I'm not touching it. Kershaw against Quintana. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out, though. But Jim the Bag and I are both going to pass on the MLB game. All right, so now let's move on to the NFL. Let's start there. Let's start with the NFL. Obviously, a very interesting situation with KC against Oakland. I actually, I chose. I have to use my time strategically with all these sports going on, and I did not look into this one too deeply, and I think I'm probably going to pass on this one just because it's just so unknown and it feels so uncertain to me what the condition of Derek Carr is. Obviously when he's great and his mind is focused, when he's fully healthy and his mind is focused, he's an elite quarterback, and Oakland has a fearsome offense. But if you break a bone in your back, that's, just psychologically, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? You can't break bones in your back, Jim. That's not like breaking. Sometimes, like they break like a finger on their non-throwing hand, or like they have a shoulder soreness or on their non-throwing hand or something like that. But he broke a bone in his back. That's got to at least be messing with his head, if not physically. It's going to be a pass for me as of right now. I might look into it deeper. Do you have anything to say about this one, Jim?
I do, and the key is there's a couple of keys, but one is obviously Carr. He just did not look good. 21 for 30, 171 yards, one touchdown, 2 picks. He probably needed it, but the questions surrounding his injury are, you can't have faith in him right now. Now, we thought the Raiders defense was going to be so good this year. They are not. They just picked up Navarro Bowman. Will he help? I don't know. I just find that Jack Del Rio is not making in-game adjustments, and he'll get out-coached. Justin Houston does not have enough support. He's getting double teamed, and he doesn't have enough support. But how strong this Chiefs D has stayed without Eric Berry has been extremely impressive. And I figured that the line was going to move. I know it opened at minus 2.5, and it's now at minus 3. And I just think that the Raiders are a questionable football team, and I'm surprised I'm saying that. Now, a
Yeah.
lot of people here love Oakland. You know,
Mhm.
they're black hole tonight is too much. Oakland Raiders is a lock. Andrew G loves Oakland. But my man, little Pac-Man, likes Kansas City in the over. Brett Smyers have to like Kansas City. Carr has a broken bone in his back. I mean, and yeah, the Raiders just lost to a Chargers team that the Chiefs handled easily in San Diego. So I think the Chiefs -3 is the play here.
All right. So are you going to make that official pick?
I am. I'm
Okay.
going to make the Chiefs -3 an official pick.
All right, interesting. Jim the Bag making the Chiefs -3 an official pick at Pinnacle. The odds are +102. So Jim on KC -3 +102. And I'm going to completely pass on this one. Now let's move on to college football. I do have a bunch of college football plays from the Saturday card that I'm going to add. I spent a lot of time doing some deep research last night, and a bunch of plays that I'm going to add. Of course, there are 2 games tonight, both very interesting games. Should I give my picks first on the Saturday card, or should we talk about the Thursday games?
Why don't we start with the Thursday games, because I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about
Well,
them.
the first one, the first one, Louisiana Lafayette, Arkansas State, is a tough one. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, so they tend to be close. Also, obviously, Arkansas State has a fearsome offense, so they can put up points in a hurry against anyone, and could easily, even if it's a close game, that with that passing offense, they can get a 2-touchdown lead at any time. I definitely am leaning Louisiana Lafayette here, getting this many points. Not sure if I want to pull the trigger. I did bet it, and I did make it as a pick. I'm not sure if I like it quite. If it was 14, I would definitely give it as a pick. It might even be one of these spots where it might even be worth it to buy up to 14. I wouldn't actually do that, but I wish I was getting 14 so badly. Then I would definitely give it as a pick. I did bet it at 12.5 anyway. And Arkansas State is a great team. The offense is fearsome, but the big question is Louisiana Lafayette. Their recent defensive improvements, were they for real or not? And my guess is that it's more likely that they are somewhat for real than not. So getting that many points in a rivalry game like this, I would definitely be leaning Louisiana Lafayette.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was very curious to see what you thought of these 2 games. Andre Nunez looked great. I thought he kept it simple, wasn't making mistakes. He seemed like he was comfortable in the pocket outside, threw for 232 yards and a TD. And I was wondering what you thought of their defense the last 2 weeks. Is it an aberration? Is it something
it's really hard to say, because obviously they were playing. They're playing Idaho, and that will actually Idaho's playing Missouri this weekend, and Missouri's had a terrible defense this year. But I'm guessing that Missouri's going to have a great defensive performance against Idaho on Saturday. So it's a complete educated guess and a judgment call. My sense is that they are making. I mean, I was expecting them to have a better defense at the beginning of the year than they showed. They have some guys on the defensive line who are impressive for the Sun Belt. So I was surprised that their defense struggled as much as it did in the beginning of the year. And my sense is that my educated guess is that their defense will make an improvement as the season goes on, and that they will continue to be somewhat decent defensively. But again, Arkansas State is a different beast with that great passing game. So it might be that Louisiana Lafayette's better defensive performances will come after this game. So I'm going to stay off it, but I have a strong lean towards Louisiana Lafayette in that one.
Interesting.
Okay. And then the other game is Houston and Memphis. That is a very, very tricky one. Obviously, at first glance, the line might not make sense to some because Memphis is clearly a better team. Some of the things that I look at indicate that Memphis is the play. Some things I look at definitely indicate that Houston is the play. I would actually be leaning Houston here. There's a reason the line where it is, and there's some things that I look at that indicate that Houston might be the play. I'm not going to bet that one, though. I'm not going to give it as a pick. My lean actually would be Houston, despite the fact that Memphis is clearly the better team, clearly has the much better quarterback. Houston has a good defense, especially in the red zone, and they're going to have to get better quarterback play, which is that's an assumption that is a big if. But if they do, I think they come out with the win. I'm not going to bet or make a pick, but that would be my lean on this one.
What's the explanation for the Tulsa game? They were outscored 38-7 after halftime.
Yeah. I mean, the explanation is that a lot of inconsistency in college football in general. I mean, Tulsa does have a strong offense, but yeah, I mean, they're looking vulnerable here, and Memphis clearly has a better offense here, better quarterback, and is overall the better team. So you can make the argument that taking the the better team on the road is taking the better team getting points is always the right way to go. On the other hand, you can also make the other argument, which is that anytime you have a ranked team as an underdog against an unranked team, there's a reason for it, and that would favor Houston here. So I'm going to pass on this one. I might bet it closer to kickoff on my personal account. As of right now, I have not bet it. I did make a small bet on Louisiana Lafayette plus 12.5, but I'm not going to get. I'm just going to keep that one as a lean. I'm not going to give it as an official pick. And that's my take on the two games. James, do you want to make an official pick on either of these games?
No, they're very difficult,
Yeah.
and I was just so curious to hear what you thought of both of them, especially the Memphis at Houston. I mean, I was studying the game, and I'm new to hammering college football. It was so difficult to understand how Houston could be favored, and I was just so curious to hear your explanation. And I hear what you're saying, but just seeing them get destroyed by Tulsa was just strange. And then after Memphis, they face number 16 South Florida next week, undefeated South Florida. I mean, I'm just trying to sponge as much as I can off of your college football, and I was just so interested what you had to say about the game.
Yeah, so again, here we go. Justin Searcy saying Memphis wins. Yeah, I did not bet this game, and I am definitely not going to give it as a pick. It's definitely a wacky one, and we shall see. All right, so no picks on either of the college football games tonight, but I do have a bunch of plays that I'm going to add on to my overall tally. I've summarized every day what my picks were, and because this show is running long, I'm not going to go over what the picks that I have given so far this week, but I will do that tomorrow. And of course, on Saturday morning, I always do that with the Big Man Show, 11 a.m. Eastern time, and I review all the plays that I've given. So the plays I'm going to add. First play that I am going to add is going to be, and this is what I was looking at when it came out, is going to be Iowa. Now, it opened at plus 1.5. It's now minus 1.5 or 1. The Greek actually has -1. So I'll take that one. Iowa -1, minus 110. Everywhere else has minus 1.5. We do use Greek lines, and the reason for that is that the Greek does have intentionally off-market lines sometimes, as they do here, but they are a professional book, which means that if you bet their off-market lines, you can bet them in perpetuity. Even if you're beating them, they won't kick you out. So it counts as an intentionally off-market line that is absolutely legit and valid. So I will take that one. Iowa -1. Iowa, of course, coming off the bye. Northwestern, a good team, which is why the line is competitive. But Iowa coming off the bye. Akum Wadley, the running back, is just a stud for them. And the defense obviously is great. It should be good. And Northwestern, coming off of a tough run of games. And I like Iowa here. Which I was given 1.5, but I'll take them at -1. So that's the first pick I'm going to add. -1, minus 110. Next pick I'm going to add. As I look at it, it makes me nervous, but I am going to add it. Oof. All right. It is going to be Florida State. I was hoping to get 6.5, which is what I bet last night. That is not available, what I'm seeing right now. I can take -7, minus 103 against Louisville. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be disagreeing with this. And this, of all my picks, is one that I'm liking probably the least, but I'm liking it enough to give it. I think that's, of course, it's a revenge game for Florida State. They got blown out by Louisville last week. And Louisville, not only did they lose last week to Boston College, but they already lost by margins twice this year, so they can be held down. And as I said, in the beginning of the season, if people remember, week 1, college football, I said when I took Clemson over Louisville, I took Clemson over Louisville. A lot of people were saying I was crazy for that. And my reasoning was basically just that Louisville is much more of a one-trick pony this year. The reason they've struggled compared to last year is not because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is as great as ever, but what I said was the everything around him is significantly worse than last year, and I use that word one-trick pony to describe them. Now, here's 7 points. Obviously, is a lot, and for Florida State to cover, I'm going to assume that they're going to have a better offensive performance than what they've shown this year. If they don't, then they won't cover. But I think that it's an okay spot to time a leap forward with Florida State's offense. And Louisville, I think they might just be a little bit beat down. Lamar Jackson, then Florida State's going to have to contain Lamar Jackson. I'm sure that I don't even have to look at the comments. I'm sure there's a lot of comments saying I'm crazy, take Louisville +7, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, there you go. Delta 75 agreeing with it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So not many comments on this one, but that is a pick that I'm going to add. Florida State -7, minus 103. Then another one that I'm going to add. I'm also leaning to the under on that one as well, and I'll think about whether I want to add that one. Also, I'm going to add on. I am going to add on This one I'm like another similar game, similar spread, but liking this one more than the Florida State line is Oklahoma State over Texas. Now I did bet this one at 6.5. I'm not sure if that is available right now, but let me find it. Where the hell is it? Oklahoma State against Texas. Where the hell is that line? Sorry, there we go. Yes, and there are no 6.5s available, so I'll have to take 7. That's okay. -7, -102. Feel like it's a down spot for Texas. Oklahoma State has a an offense that obviously can put up points against anyone in a hurry, and I will take Oklahoma State -7, -102. Another favorite that might be controversial, but I think is probably a decent play. Again, people might disagree with me, but I'm going to take Duke -8 over Pittsburgh. Get Pittsburgh, of course, Max Brown out for the year, and Pittsburgh a team with some talent, but I do think this is a down spot for them. Duke has been struggling, but a little bit forgivable with their losses. Again, this one is we're going to have to see an improvement from Duke's quarterback, which I think we might see, and I'm going to take Duke here -8. -106 is the line there at Pinnacle. Let me just quickly check the other ones. That's it for the sides that I wanted to add. Now the totals, I'm feeling a little bit more questionable about, but I guess I will add them all. The leans that I wanted to give were Idaho, Missouri under, Temple, Army under. I was also leaning the Oklahoma State game over, Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan under, and the Louisville, Florida State under. And you know what? I guess I will just I'll give all of those except for the Louisville, Florida State one. I'll give all of those except for the Louisville, Florida State one. Idaho, Missouri. Again, we mentioned this earlier in the show. Missouri has been terrible defensively, but I think they might step up defensively here against Idaho. Just hoping that Missouri doesn't, run all over them offensively, which is definitely a possibility. But I will take the under in this one, 63.5 -110. That is at Heritage and the Greek and a few other places. Then the Temple and Army under. Again, this one is a tough one. Army can, of course, have a huge offense, but I think this one is going to be a relatively slow down game, similar to the Navy game that went earlier this year, went also under. This one opened at 49.5. I wish I was getting that one, and I bet it at 46.5. And the Greek actually has 47, so I'll take that one. The Greek under 47. Temple and Army. Under 47 -110. Then I'm also going to throw on the Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan under. That one I will definitely throw on. It is 51 -107 at Pinnacle. Of course, Western Michigan coming off of a tough game. I think they're going to run the ball a lot here, and I think we will see a run-heavy game. So I'm taking the under 51 -107 in that one. And then the Oklahoma State-Texas game. Oh, God, I really want to take the over in that one. Where is that line? Where is that line? Where is that line? That is 65, 64.5, 65.5. Market uncertain there. I'm definitely leaning over on that one. I think that Oklahoma State will have a big day offensively, and Texas should put up enough on their own to push it over. I guess I'll wait and do. I don't know. I've already done my deep research on that one. I'll wait just for no real reason, and I'll hold off on that one just for now. Texas has been great defensively this year. I just think that they're not going to be able to stop Oklahoma State in this one. And also leaning the under in the Iowa Northwestern game and the under in the Louisville, Florida State game. Let me just quickly check what those lines are. Yeah, the Iowa Northwestern game. I guess I'll hold off on that one as well. It's a 47, but I'm leaning that way. And the Louisville, Florida State game, 59. I really want to take the under in that one as well. But I will, all right. I will throw that one on there. What the hell? I'll throw that one on there as well. Louisville, Florida State under 15. You know what? I'm going to hold off on that one too. Do a little bit more research into it. All right. So what have I given? Again, the picks that I have added on: Iowa, Florida State, Idaho, Missouri under, Temple, Army under, Oklahoma State, Duke, and Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan under. That's 7 plays that I've added, and hopefully I will be adding a whole bunch more. That brings my total on the week to 18, and hopefully I'll be adding a bunch more tomorrow, and then probably, unless I get sick or have some other, time suckage event, a bunch more on Saturday morning as well.
A couple guys have asked, Michael Hernandez and iRetroStar have asked where they can see your NCAA picks. So is there a place for it? Or is
where I can see it, where they can see them?
Yeah.
I mean, I every game I review them. I mean, every week.
Just for this week, like your picks for the week.
My picks for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just gave all of them. Do you want me to review them all right now? You can't see them anywhere. I don't know if you can see them. Should I? I don't mind tweeting them out, I guess. I could tweet them out. It would take a whole bunch of tweets, though.
You are on fire this
Yeah.
year, and I can understand why people want to see them because you're hot.
Yeah, I mean, I got 18 picks. All right, so aside from the 7 that I just added today, which is Iowa, Florida State, Missouri under, Temple Army under, Oklahoma State, Duke, and Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan under, my other picks for the week so far are Rutgers +8. It's now 9 or 9.5. I'm still liking that one, though. Bowling Green +13.5. Illinois +14.5. Kent State +20, Ole Miss +7, Virginia -7. I'm definitely liking that one. Ball State +3, Miami, Ohio -3, Maryland, Wisconsin under 52.5. That's now down to about 50.5 or 51. Southern Miss, Louisiana Tech under 55.5. Kansas, TCU under 59.5, and USC. Again, I did add that one. USC +3.5. What's that?
Oh, I love it, man. I love how much action you
Yeah,
got, man.
yeah,
So exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. All right, so DMB saying, "Damn, Pete, my pen ran out of ink." Yeah, listen, I mean, none of these plays are great, and don't forget, it's like if I wind up going like 11-8 on these picks, that's still an upper 50%. That's still a great record. You know what I mean? Last week I was 14-5. That's not. I'm not gonna go 14-5 this week. Or any other week, probably. That's probably gonna be my best week, But my goal is to maintain in the mid-50s, hope for other upper 50s, and if I hit 60%, I'm like, walking around like I'm God. That's what it is. But there's a lot of losses that come with those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. And we also want to mention before we go that on Monday we move to 10 a.m. Eastern time in our new studio, and we are very excited about that. So remember, we'll be half an hour early on Monday.
Okay, that's good. That's also bad news for that is that there are going to be some lines that on the overnight lines that aren't out yet. So you might have to take some blind, or it's going to be tricky. But yeah, new format on Monday, and that should be pretty exciting. Long show once again, but we cover everything, and they section it up later on. Thanks everyone for tuning in.